following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discuss the coronavirus, NFL free agency, and put Al on the couch. And of course, they jump into the weekly segment, Buy or Sell, answer a listener question, and wrap it all up with some trivia. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check, pull, out, money, West Coast, let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it real, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, but get out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. This is the Shy Life. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 149. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph. Joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph. What's good with you, Pooh?
Man, you know what it is. Shut out, shut in, and wait, and waiting on this COVID-19 to move through, man. You know, we're keeping everybody safe and covered, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Al, what's good?
Same here, man. Just, like everybody else, just dealing with this new reality. So, but I'm doing good, and my folks doing good, so I ain't got no complaints.
Yeah, same here, man. Just following protocols and staying home and trying to stop my wife from buying water, all that shit.
I was definitely wondering why the water, like why are people buying water?
Right. And I guess just, for one, it's the herd mentality, but two, once people see the shelves empty, they're like, well, I got to get it while I can get it.
Okay, okay. It does come through the faucet, though.
Right. And, I literally have 28 gallons of water in my house right now, right?
Wow.
And that's a combination. And then two, big packs of bottled water. So, and she was trying to go out and get more. And I was like, yo, you got to chill out on the water, man. She was like, why? It ain't going to go bad. I was like, no, it's not going to go bad, but, you being part of the problem. Like, we are those people right now. So if there are elderly people that are really going to, need their water, or families that don't have any water in the house, we're part of the problem. Those people don't have access to water at this point, unless it's out of the faucet. But some people, especially elderly people, can't drink tap water. So, just chill out on the water, man. So
yeah, it's a lot of hoarding going on, and definitely trying to not be one of those folk who are hoarding stuff when like you said, there are limited resources. So when you think about it from that perspective and trying to think about your fellow neighbor,
right?
I mean, I gotta have faith that there's gonna be more in a week. That they will replenish.
Right.
So we don't need all of that right now. So
exactly. So, but everything's good, man. Just trying to stay, up to date on the recommendations and the processes of what we should be doing, and limit my time in public places. All same stuff. Gotta, dealing with the kids being home. So, it just is what it is at this point, man.
I saw a funny, I guess a meme or an image where it was said, parents complaining about watching their kids for 2 weeks. Now they're going to find out that those teachers weren't lying.
Little Johnny is bad as hell, ain't he?
Okay. He lie all the damn time.
You know,
he don't listen for this shit.
You know, this little clown don't even know his times tables. I've been telling you this all year. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll get into it and how it's affecting everybody, including ourselves. A little bit of house cleaning before we do. You want to give a shout out to our newest patrons, Willie Peltzer and Larry Sanders of My House Restaurant. Shout out to you, Larry. Been to your restaurant in Columbia a couple times, and it's really good. So shout out to Larry for being a patron.
Welcome.
Right, and Willie Lean, big fan of the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast. Shout out to you, Willie Lean. So
I'm a big fan too.
Right.
I'm with you, Willie.
Yeah. Kim, Lynn, gonna miss y'all this week. So, don't stretch this shit into 2 weeks. I can't go without my sisters for 2 weeks. So, AN, they are skipping a week. They first time missing a week. Other than, holidays and stuff like that. But so y'all go on Facebook and give them hell, because we want them back next week. So I'm gonna miss y'all. So we'll check y'all out next week, Lynn and Kim. Yeah, man. So before we get into this COVID-19 talk, I feel like we kind of obligated to talk about it because everybody's talking about it, and like Al said, it's part of our new reality. We said last week, since Pooh had his therapy session on the couch, that we were gonna put Al on the couch and try to figure out some of his idiosyncrasies and quirks and craziness. Anytime you got a man that's narcissist number one, you gotta put him on the couch.
He got some shit.
Right. So Al, come on over, man. Get comfortable. Put your feet up.
Man, I'm putting my feet up as we speak.
You need water, coffee, beer, anything?
No, I got a cocktail, so I'm
okay.
Good. I'm good.
Cool.
Right now. Okay.
All right, Pooh. Last week Al gave you hell, man. So it's your turn. Al went in on your chicken eating, your non-chicken eating, non-roller coaster riding, non-elevator taking ass,
walking up 20 flights,
right? Waking up at 3 a.m.
I forgot that part.
You know what I'm saying? Yelling at the roosters. So Pooh, go ahead, man. Give Al the business, man. Like Al, what you mentioned one thing last week that was kind of a quirk for you, Al. Anything you want to share?
So, in addition to wanting to be facing the gas station, the first pump, and I don't know if I just want to be there to see who's coming out, if I need to make a break for it. Right. I don't know if it's where I just want to be closer to the cash register to limit my walk.
Or you
I'm not really
steal
sure
a lot of gas back in the day. I don't know.
One or the other.
Right.
One of them reasons.
Before you had to pay cash first.
One of them. But I'm just in that habit right now. But I did kind of think about, what are some of my quirks, right? So, I do have this habit of, I got this habit of talking with stuff in my mouth.
Oh.
So not just food, because a lot of people talk with food in their mouth, but I talk with liquid in my mouth.
Oh, come on.
Whether it's water, whether it's soda, it could be toothpaste. I don't really, whatever. I'll be like, yo, wait. So what we saying is, though, and people be like, yo, swallow, nigga, just swallow.
I'll wait.
Right. And I'm like, nah, hold on, wait. I got to say this right now, right now. I'll be like, hold on. I just want to say right here. So that I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's, I am the youngest I got 2 older brothers, so maybe it was a thing where I wasn't getting the opportunity to talk like I should, and I had to get my shit out. I had to get my shit out when I could, and it was like, whether I got something in my mouth or not, y'all gonna listen to me. Right. But I do have that habit, and I don't even think about it, honestly.
Yeah, and like I said, I know your brothers. You ain't get no talk time.
None.
Your mic time was limited. Yeah, man, that's a possibility. Just just hear me out while I got this shit in my mouth, because this might be the only time I get to talk.
Okay, I gotta get it out right now.
Right. Oh man. So does that come into, or has it come into effect with your marriage, with your wife? Like, man, just swallow that shit or get your toothpaste spitting ass out of my face.
My wife hates when I do that. It is like I have no respect for her when I do that. Just I'm like, whoa. You know I don't like when you do that shit, and I just forget because I really don't be thinking. But I be brushing my teeth, and I have this important thing that I need to say, and it'd be like, dude, just swallow, please, just swallow. I can't help it. I can't help it.
Wow.
But I'm working on it. Not really, but I'm working on it.
All right. Or you keep your cocktail over there to yourself, man. Don't be spitting on me.
Well, that's the other thing, though, that I have a problem with, or kind of just I'm a little different. I spit wherever.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm a spitter.
Okay.
Whoa.
And, yeah, I have no I don't know if it's just a saliva problem to where, and again, I could just swallow if I wanted to, but I don't, and I'll just like whoosh, bang. And people be looking at me like, "Did you just spit?" Yeah. Nigga, swallow. Oh, my bad. And so I do that, and it's not even like I be getting phlegm out my mouth, because this is one thing when you're trying to get rid of phlegm.
Yeah.
All right, I get that. Nah, I just have extra spit in my mouth, and I just be like, bang. I do that. Do spit wherever.
I gotta raise my hand on that one. I'm a spitter too. So yeah, I get it.
Okay, so it ain't just me.
Yeah, and I kind of curtailed it a little bit. And I know you on the couch. Let me tell you a quick story. So I'm at my in-laws' house. So I'm at my wife's uncle's house one time, and Toya, who's been on the show with us a few times, Toya was there, and so we outside talking, drinking. We was at some holiday cookout or something, and Toya's kind of next to me, but she's standing a few steps behind me, so I can kind of see her out of my peripheral. And I turn around, like opposite her, away from her to spit, not knowing that she was walking behind me to go in the house. And I spit all up her arm, I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Oops, I didn't see you.
Right, so I'm kind of extra precautious, like checking my surroundings and shit before I unload. But yeah, so.
Yeah, because it ain't much worse than getting spit on.
Yeah.
Nah, it isn't.
Right. So, yeah. All right.
People will fight you over that,
right.
intentional or not.
Man, I thought I was going to have to fight a Puerto Rican lady that night, but nah, I didn't. So
I'm surprised she didn't swing on you.
Man,
that's love right there. That's love.
Right. Yeah. Anything else? Like, what would your kids say? You got anything quirky about you?
Okay, so I asked them, right? One of you should ask that. So I asked them. So they was like, well, because okay, so I guess I had to ask them because in my core, I think I'm pretty normal, even though I'm weird as fuck. In my core, I think I'm a pretty normal dude. So I'm like, well, I ain't got much. So what y'all got? Y'all got any good shit? So the first thing out their list, because I had to let them know, because they was coming up with shit all out of pocket, like, well, what about the way you hold your mouth? You be sitting there sometimes. Hold up, shut up, wait. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You special? Okay. So let me give you some context. Let me help y'all understand why I'm asking this question. So then they were like, okay, I got you. Okay, this is for the podcast. So, okay, how about the fact that you like to tune people out? I'm like,
more than more.
Okay, that is me. Okay. To say more. What you got? So my son starts saying, hey, Daya, you remember when we used to play this game with Daddy while he was driving? And I was like, what? You don't remember we used to play this game where we knew Daddy would tune us out? So we would say something to see if he was listening. We would be like, Daddy, make a right. And you wouldn't listen. And we would say, Dad, and we would say it louder and louder and louder till you finally would hear that we talking to you And then you would try to listen to us, and we'd be like, see, all right, he's listening to us. And my daughter was like, I remember that. And I don't know what it is, Daddy, but I know when I talk to you, I gotta say, Daddy, make sure you listening to me, then say it. Because it ain't no guarantee you going to be listening just because I say Daddy. Like,
right.
Okay, so I don't be listening to y'all like that. I don't be eavesdropping. I be minding my business.
And that's understandable. I mean, for one, you're a father. You tend to tune people out, especially your kids at times when you're a father. And two, you're a Glymph. You just don't listen to motherfuckers. So.
I ain't listening.
Right.
You got to let me know you talking to me.
Right.
So then I asked my wife, what you got? You got any good? So, here's the shit we could mention on the podcast. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that one either. Well, one, she said, you have this way of, and like, so I go to sleep many nights with like underwear or pants on, but by the end of the night, they're not really on. So either they'll be half on to where I had pulled them down to like my thighs,
right?
Or I guess I try to get them all the way off and I give up and I just go with the one legger and off one leg, but they just kind of on the other leg, and I just said, fuck it, that's good enough. I can stretch my legs out so I feel comfortable enough to go back to sleep.
So it's like, so you like Marlon Wayans in Haunted House where he got raped by the ghost and shit?
Oh man, no, say it ain't so. I don't know how this happened. I went to sleep with my underwear on. I wake up with underwear on. What the hell is going on?
Or maybe she trying to convince you that it's you and she doing shit to you at night.
Maybe it ain't. I don't remember. All I know is I wake up and I'm like, I didn't go to sleep like this. That's all I know.
I didn't go to sleep like this, and why is my ass hurt?
What the hell's going on? And I'm tired as hell, and don't know why.
What the hell is on my face? Oh, my drawers.
Oh, stop it! No.
That damn ghost.
Damn ghost getting raped by a ghost. You don't get much worse than that either.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, man.
And that's about it.
Well, if that's the shit that you can say on the show, I don't even want to imagine the shit she said that you couldn't say on the show.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm that dude who thinks he's normal.
Right.
He's fucking weird as fuck, though.
Oh, man.
Yo, my kids were jumping at the bit to add to my list. No. What about No, we ain't saying that shit.
Like,
man,
let me stop
up.
y'all right there.
Y'all got jokes. Shit. Ain't nobody asking for that shit. You know what?
Right.
Shut up. How about you, Gina? What you got?
She was like, oh.
Man.
And then she pulls out a scroll.
Okay.
Right.
It was like, and then what about this? And then, okay, but on Fridays, and I'm like, stop, wait.
I don't like y'all no more. Oh, man. Well, appreciate it, sir.
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah. Man, I gotta reevaluate my relationships with people. Y'all crazy. Hey.
Go ahead.
Hey, I had to think about it for a second, because you're right. I was a little harsh on Pooh last week. Like, that was some shit I never really heard of before. But then I'm like, you know what? Who are you, Al? Throw the stuff. Hold on. Think about it and shit. You know what, though?
Right.
Yeah, you got some shit, too. So, okay. Right. Be ready to share.
Oh, man. Well, appreciate both of y'all, man. Again, like, I'm the normal one on this show, so.
So I thought so, too, last week. So you might need to come with your list next week.
Y'all want to put me on the couch next week?
I'm saying everybody need to jump on the couch, because I do feel better. I feel like I've got shit off my chest now.
Well, I'll jump on the couch next week on like if two things happen.
Okay.
One, Al, you got to tell me right now, do you have your drawers on sitting on my couch?
I do now, but it might not be that way at the end of the show.
Well, hurry up and get up before you draw.
I don't know what it's gonna look like at the end of the show. Though.
Yeah, well.
I'm gonna try this. As long as I stay up, we good.
Right.
If I doze off.
All right. So as long as you got the drawers on, and two, Pooh, you ain't eat no chicken on the couch last week, did you? Because it's probably a whole damn breast with one bite taken out of it under the cushions and shit. You good?
Nah, no chicken, B.
All right, no chicken. All right, y'all can put me on the couch next week. Get your questions together, and I'll consult with my people too.
No doubt.
So they can tell me how crazy I am. Oh man, well, shit. At least we know it's just three of us, and the shit will be over soon. So I'll be the last one on the couch. This ain't gonna be no ongoing segment. Y'all don't need to know that much about us.
True.
Nah, bro. That's we some dark people. If you keep
digging,
going
right?
layer down layer and
Right.
layer and layer and layer. Yeah, I don't need to see all that.
Nah. Oh man. Well, we started off talking about. We touched on the coronavirus, and my first question to you guys in regards to this, and again, shout out to Bunny, West Coast, and Hollywood Paul at Unsupervised, the spinoff, for just talking about last week how outside of the virus itself, how new reality is affecting people's lives. And of course, one thing, we're all sports fans. Pooh, how has no sports affected your life? Like no sports at all? Is it weird to you?
Truth be told, at this point in time, it's not that bad. It's not that bad on me because I done fallen out of grace with the NBA, and I've fallen out of grace with March Madness. So I don't watch golf, racing, MLB. I can give two shits about that news. So I mean, right now it's just like the same period with me. It's a little dead period with me. So right. I'm not being tarnished at all, or bruised at all about it.
All right. What about you, man? Is no sports like killing you right now, especially with baseball coming up?
Yeah, it does hurt in the sense of you gotta think about, damn, what am I watching now?
Right.
But it's been early, but I found myself watching a little bit more TV, but also trying to play some games with the family. Because we all hunkered in here, so trying to get some board games and trying to have some more conversations to take up the time. But the fact that the NFL free agency is happening is definitely kind of keeping my attention. Because there's some things that are just popping on the TV, right. But it helps to kind of feed me some of that information. But there's still gaps of time that I would have been watching games that instead, trying to do some cleaning, try to be more productive, actually.
Right.
So trying to see the positive in it, because I definitely miss it. Just spend the time differently in other ways.
Right. Yeah, and I guess that's the benefit of being in like current times is, used to be if you missed a game or if you missed highlights, you just missed them for the rest of your life. Now, pretty much everything that I would want to see on TV, if it was highlights or a game or just news, sports news, I just go to my phone. So that kind of alleviates it a little, but there are times like, when you're up at night, you're like, oh man, I just want to check out the highlights of the games for the night, whether it's, NBA or, even if it's, watch a little bit to see what's going on in baseball or just check out news. It's nothing there. Like you turn on, there's certain shows like when I'm home sometimes when I'm home, if I'm working from home, I'll turn on, Colin Cowherd or Shannon Sharp show, stuff like that. And it's nothing there. They showing like bowling and NASCAR events from last year. Like it's just weird. So just an adjustment, not really like driving me crazy because, again, I want to check up and I just go to my phone. But it's weird, like not having any sports on.
Well, it's like, I think it's also been kind of cool to watch old footage of old games. So, like, I got to watch a quarter and a half of the night Kobe put up 65 on Portland.
Yeah.
You know, you watching a young LaMarcus Aldridge. What's the dude? Roy. What's the guard for Portland?
Oh, Brandon Roy. Yeah.
Brandon Roy is playing. You know, so just watching of Shaq. No, Shaq's not even on his time. It's after Shaq leaves. So you got Kwame Brown, Lamar Odom.
Them dudes.
But dude put up 65 and brought him back and won the game. Saw Shaq on his birthday score some like 60 points against the Clippers. And I'm watching it for a little bit with my son, and my son is like, "Yo, who that? A small forward trying to guard Shaq?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo, he's a power forward, but he looks so big because he looks so small because Shaq is so big.
Right.
Yo, Shaq was a beast, man.
Right. That's crazy."
So it's just good to watch some of them old footages and just watch some of them old games and just in the meantime they're putting them on. But you know, you find ways to cope.
Right. And yeah, you're right. And you know, like I've been, you know, especially with the kids being home, and Lincoln's in this like stage where he just loves watching highlights from not just like player highlights, so like, you know, their career highlights. So he's like every running back in the history of today was the first time, Pooh, that I showed him Walter Payton's highlights, and he went crazy. He was like, he's a football nuts. He was like, oh my God, like he is everything you need. He can throw the ball too, so it's fun, like, you know, showing him the history of the league. So, Al, you be proud. I texted you this a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yo, your Uncle Alvin he's gonna tear up when I tell him this. But yeah, he been watching Larry Allen highlights.
Yo, he was a beast.
Like, for one, I was proud because I was like, yo, what 10-year-old kid watches offensive lineman highlights? And then two, you know, he's a cowboy, so I was like, yo, your Uncle Al is gonna love this shit. Right. But yeah, so today we watched. So we saw Walter Payton today, saw Jim Brown today. And you know, after a few, you know, you got to start scraping the bottom of the barrel or really start digging into your memory tank. So you know, a lot of me just watches on his own. So I took him through all the Steelers running backs and, you know, throughout history, including like Rashad Mendenhoff, Willie Parker, everybody.
The Bus,
Barry Foster, you know, Franco Harris.
Barry.
All right. So he's, you know, thorough in his knowledge. And so tomorrow we're going to check out some Marcus Allen highlights. So that kind of stuff is cool. You know, you kind of got to get creative, you know, and watching anything pertaining to sports. So it's different. But by the time we get used to it, shit'll be back on.
Well, I think, you know, a byproduct, probably unexpected, but hopefully a beneficial one to this virus is forcing us to kind of just slow down and take a pause,
right,
as a society. And I think, you know, when you're in the mix of it, when you're in the whirlwind of life, you don't appreciate the pace of everything that's going on, but especially, you know, you talk about being a parent, being an entrepreneur, being an employee, be a husband, it's a lot to all of those things I just mentioned. And if you are all of them at once,
right,
your schedule usually is 17, 18 hours a day, and you go hard and then you go to sleep, you pass out, you wake up, you do the same thing the next day, and over and over and over and over and over, and that has to take its toll. So I think, you know, for folks to just be able to just take a chill pill, still be productive, still get some things done, but kind of like, you know, step back for a second and try to take stock of life, hopefully will be a byproduct of all of this. Because when I talk new reality, man, I really look at this as 9/11-ish in the sense of it might shift how the world will be forever.
Yeah.
Just how 9/11 did it with security, and just how we saw terrorism from that day since. I think this event will do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And for one, a bunch of y'all might, no sports on again. A bunch of y'all dudes might discover your wives are pretty cool. So talk to them.
Or not.
They may not be. Yeah, whoever that lady is sitting on your couch, just talk to her, figure that shit out.
Hey, they say absence. What is it? Absence makes the mind grow fonder.
Makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah,
make the heart grow fonder. So presence must do the opposite.
Hey, right.
There's some divorces going to happen.
Man, God, the corona divorce.
It's like, I knew I didn't like you. Now I'm home. Just
exactly.
Gotta go. I'm out.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. It's a couple things like we talked about it off air a little bit, but I just don't get the pandemonium over water and toilet paper.
Yeah,
I don't. First of all, toilet paper. Like, are people really like? Are you gonna be sitting at home like, man, I'm bored as fuck. I ain't got nothing to do. I might as well take a shit. Like, is this what we like? I don't get it. Like with toilet paper.
I mean, I think it's more as a people. I think we have this need to feel like we are in control, and I think when crises happen and we start to panic, I think going to the supermarket and buying things that we feel like we will need if the store ever was to shut down is our way of gaining some type of control in this. I really think that's just people. This is how they are dealing with the panic because it's like real talk. Like, why are you buying water? Right. What's the thing with water? Did anybody say the water's going to shut down? I didn't see that. I've been watching TV. Watching TV. Ain't nobody ever questioned the water supply. No. Why are you buying water?
Right. And it's everything. Like, and I guess you're right. Like, we want to feel like we're prepared or in control in case the worst case scenario happens. But I ain't just gonna become, and realistically speaking, if we are quarantined, it's only gonna be for a max of a month. So you probably only gonna miss.
I don't know, B. I don't know. I'm just saying. Because here's. I mean, I think if you look at other countries, I think what you're saying is probably accurate. But our country is hard-headed.
We are.
People already hanging out at the bars like, whatever, man.
But I think like as it spreads, because it's gonna spread some more before it does temp down a little. Like those people who are like, not me. Once that becomes why me, and they get it, just single kind of like they gonna curtail all that hanging out at bars and hanging around each other so much. You are right. We are hard headed. And it kind of, and as opposed to other countries, a lot of other countries, our government doesn't dictate what we can do. So we kind of got to learn on our own, right? Exactly. But I still think like if we are quarantined, I mean, right now they're saying 2 weeks. It'll probably may stretch out to a month. But you're only going to miss one, maybe 2 grocery shopping weeks. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to miss a shopping 1 or 2 shopping days. Why you need 9 weeks of toilet paper and 10 weeks of water? Like that's what we get. Like even if you miss a couple shopping days, you're well prepared. Stop with the toilet paper and the water.
Well, you got to admit, y'all got to admit that every end of the world apocalyptic movie that you've ever seen kind of starts like this. And I think I was in the supermarket and the cashier, she's talking to the other cashier like, girl, this just like that movie Purge. I'm sitting there like, no, not really. It's not though. No, I saw that movie. It's not really like Purge.
Right.
But I get your point in just that. The panic, the lack of access to stuff, just the craziness of it, because people have been wondering with people not being able to earn money, if you project that out for just say 3 months, if it was to go 3 months to where some people ain't able to work and make money, this society breaks down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It really does. This society breaks down. It's going to be a place you don't want to go outside too long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and
people gonna be hungry and they gonna want your shit.
Yeah, and again, like, if you are that person, and then you are just a microcosm of the bigger problem, hoarding everything, and you become a target if it gets to that point. We just gotta be like. Again, everyone, just do your research, your own research, and read, and get the facts and not the myths. Don't believe everything you hear. Definitely don't get all your news from memes on Facebook. Just prepare yourself and prepare your family. And if it gets that bad, man, ask your neighbor for a loaf of bread. Don't go shooting nobody for no bread, man. It ain't
Don't
no
do that.
Right.
Hey, so let me tell you this real quick. Oh, go ahead, Al. You about to?
No, go ahead, Pooh.
So, I run out, jump in the street today for a moment to go pick up the kids' pack from their school. So I said, you know what? I'm out here, but let me go get me a mat from somewhere. So, so I ride through CVS, the Minute Clinic, right? So I go in, I pretend to enroll to see the Minute Clinic doctor, right? Just so I can grab one of the masks, right? So boom. I pretend I stand up there, I type in his bogus name, his bogus birthday, whatever. I go through the whole ritual, the whole 9, grab the mask, and walk out, because it was like it's 33 minutes until we're back. I guess they were on lunch. So boom, I jet out, run and get the kids packed, mask on, and I went to Marshall's to get Keita because they sent her home to get her a chair, to get her a seat cushion to go around her back, while she sit and do whatever. So I get home. And I walk in. First let me go back. So Marshall's, I had a mask on. This lady was like, "You playing it safe, huh?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm playing it safe." I said, it's 5 of us. If one get it, chances are we all gonna have it. I gotta protect us all. And she was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I left. As soon as I walk in the door, Keita was like, "Yo, you look ridiculous." I was like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Why do you have on that mask? That mask's not going to protect you." And I was like, "What?" I said, "What you mean?" She was like, "Shit, that's a painter's mask." I said, "What you mean?" She was like, "Nah, it's got to be the I-95 or whatever." She gave me whatever that jargon. She gave me that jargon. She was like, "That does nothing for you." She was like, she said, my job on back order for 3 months for those masks. No one can get those masks.
Tell them. I said, it's a waste of time.
I was like, "So you telling me the shit I have on was just for decoration?" She was like, "Yeah, Halloween." And I was like, "True." Yeah, but I feel like a total idiot after that.
But that's why it's so important that we pay attention and get real good, accurate information.
Right.
Right.
Because if I hadn't been watching TV, I wouldn't have known that either. I would assume just like you, like it's a mask. I see people on TV with masks on. It's a mask. Why shouldn't it help me? Yo, come on, I'm wearing one. Then I watch TV and I'm like, and I'm listening to this dude do a press conference. He's like, "Yo, the masks are not for the healthy people." And I'm sitting there like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Exactly. Hell no, I'm wearing a mask. Motherfucker. Are you fucking crazy? I ain't trying to catch that shit. And then he breaks it down, and I was like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah. And and according to my wife, I probably built up immunity because when I was me and her had the flu like a month ago. According to her, we had COVID-19. She convinced we already had it.
Wow.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she convinced. Like, I think we had. I was like, nah, man. If that's the case,
When
the
was
kids
that?
would have it.
When was that again?
Early February, like a month ago.
Oh, I remember when you was like,
I do remember. I'm just trying. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I guess for one, I guess it defies the myth that the reasoning to some people that black folks can't get it.
Oh no,
because
that
I already
been
had
defied that.
right.
Yeah. The Jazz dude had it.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant got it. Idris Elba got it.
Come on,
Yeah.
let that go. Right.
Idris Elba and Kevin Durant. Yeah, you know we can get it. But yeah, so my wife is convinced that we had it, and we built up an immunity to it now. So I ain't testing that theory. But
No, not at all.
but
I
I mean,
hope people hear us because real talk, when it comes to the situation generally speaking, but particularly with those masks, right now there's a limited number of supplies for. We're talking about a country of over 350 million people.
Right.
So we just not prepared in terms of our supplies and resources for everybody to be sick at the same time. So in particular with these masks, like since we know we don't have enough for people, and whether it's masks or whether it's tests, the point is the same thing. It's like save it for the people who need it. And you're not gonna. Most people were wearing the wrong mask, so that ain't helping you. But two, the mask is only to protect your mouth and your nose in case you are so close to somebody that when they sneeze or they spit, it goes inside your mouth or your nose. As long as you 6 feet away from folk, which they're telling people to do, that's part of a recommendation. Stay away from people. As long as you do that, you ain't gonna need no damn mask. The people who need masks are the people who are gonna be up in people's faces, like healthcare professionals.
Right.
Those people need masks. Or TSA, because they close to people. I get it.
Hell yeah. And so I'm in Aldi's yesterday, and right. And so I had to just go get a couple boxes of like Cheez-Its and peanuts, shit like that. Dry goods that won't go bad. So I'm in there and this little Spanish chick walks in and she got on the shortish, short shorts, little tight, spandex shorts, a tank top and a mask and flip flops. Right.
Wow.
Right. So I see her and I kind of chuckle to myself, and it's one of them bogus masks like Pooh had on, and so I just shake my head, and so she ends up getting in line in front of me, and I crack up to myself I'm trying to hold it in, because as she's in line, she puts her card in, slides a card in, and punches the numbers in on the card machine, the same card machine that every fool don't wash their hands, every fool who done sneezed off. That same card machine. And what does she do next? Go straight to her mask and start adjusting it. I'm like, you might as well just burn that mask. It wasn't doing you no damn good anyway. But now you done put your hands all over your face, and it's just I say it all the time, man. A person is smart, but people are stupid as fuck. So it's that shit, man. Y'all just use common sense. All the shit you learned in kindergarten, man. Wash your hands. Don't get in people's personal space. All that shit. If you just listen to your kindergarten teacher, you'll be perfectly fine.
Right.
Well, honestly, man, I think we got to take this shit seriously.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It was once I heard them describe the fact that the real vulnerable could die from this, not just get sick, but die from this. Are elderly and people with compromised immune systems.
Right.
And you think about all of those people who fit that description, who are in our lives.
Right.
I was like, oh damn, it ain't even about us.
Yeah.
That's about, damn, I could carry some shit to somebody not meaning to.
Right.
Give them shit to kill them.
Right. That's my thing.
Oh yeah. I need to wash my hands.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to follow the rules. I need to do whatever they say.
Exactly. Yeah, and what people don't realize is the drastic increase in numbers and people who have it is because we're doing testing now. So there have been people walking around with it,
Right.
Just didn't know they had it. It's just that we have testing for it now, and so the numbers are going to increase. So again, like Al said, take it seriously, especially in the sense that, like you said, like it may not be you that is affecting. It may be the person that's, that you're in contact with who's more susceptible to it. So, just listen to the protocols, and again, y'all stop. So what? You miss a St. Patrick's Day party? So what? Fuck it. Just you have St. Patrick's will be here next year. So just chill out. Stay away from folks, except for the ones you got to be around, and this it'll they'll get a hold of this thing, and it'll we'll adjust back to our normal lives. But just like Ebola and SARS and everything else, it's just a matter of getting a hold on it.
Yeah,
right.
they'll reel it in. They'll reel it in.
So,
I appreciate that our government is the way they responding now is encouraging. I mean, I think if you want to look at the fact that people knew about it last year, and weeks and months go by, and we're not preparing for the inevitable. That's a failure in our federal government, right? But since then. Since they actually started giving a fuck about it, I got to give them credit for what they are trying to accomplish, and to the point that they even talking about sending people out money, right? Yeah. Sending like, yo, y'all are on it, because again, people who miss their checks for weeks, and I'm telling you, man, people gonna eat. They gonna eat one way or another. So. I appreciate y'all sending people money, so they ain't got to knock people upside the head for it.
Right. And it is discouraging that it took them this long to actually take it seriously enough where they're actually doing something about it.
Yeah, I agree. And
I think this is a classic case of American arrogance. Like we immune to shit that the rest of the world is getting. Like this is we just like, ain't gonna happen to us. We Americans. And like what gets me. As Americans, we don't know the true sense of survival, right? So this is why we panic so much, is because we start thinking about survival. We go from one extreme to the other. We start thinking, I got to buy up all the water and the toilet paper and make sure I get everything I can hoard, because we got to survive. I'm gonna survive. Like, we ain't used to surviving. Like our definition of survival usually is, man, I got $27 in my bank account till Friday. How the fuck I'm gonna survive to then? Like, that's usually how we survive.
Because think about it. I was around some elders on Saturday who was laughing at people running to the store buying toilet paper because in their life, they've lived a life to where they didn't have toilet paper. So they've lived life without toilet paper. Nigga. They cracking jokes on the shit that they've used to wipe their ass as a kid. Right. And I'm sitting there like, are you serious? Like, that's survival to your point. Were you wiping your ass with like some grass or some shit from outside, leaves or paper, newspaper. Right. That's
right. So, they looking at us how we look at teenagers with no Wi-Fi.
What am I going to do?
Exactly. What you mean you got Wi-Fi?
I ain't got no Wi-Fi.
Right. So, again, y'all, just, be careful. Use your common sense. And if you was a nasty motherfucker 2 weeks ago, don't be that motherfucker no more. Wash your hands, man. It's the biggest thing. Wash your hands and stay away from folks.
And take advantage and, make the best use of the time, like, whether it is eat better or, be more active, go for a walk, ride a bike, do something, be productive,
write a book, do
something, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm really hoping that, this is a time that shifts how we look at the world, and we are different from now on. So I'm working from home. I'm enjoying it and hoping that other people are able to, make it work for them.
All right. So, well, cool. We talked about earlier, we touched on having no sports and shit like that. But Al, you did mention that NFL free agency is still going on to kind of keep us, a little bit like with our toes in the water a little bit. Feel like something's going on. So, of course, our teams, we're going to dig a little deeper into, free agency talk with the Cowboys, Bears, Jets, and Steelers. But a couple of the big things that have gone on since free agency started Monday. Of course, today, Tom Brady agreed in principle to become a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Al, what are your thoughts on that? First, I ask you this. Prediction. Who will the future bear out that Belichick has more success moving forward or Brady? And I'll say over the next 2 years, because that's probably how long Brady's going to play.
I'm going to say Brady is. And not that I think he's going to win it all, or I could see him making the playoffs one of those years. I don't think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs. Because I see the Bills as positioning themselves to take the AFC East. Mm-hmm. And then I could see the Patriots not getting a wild card. Just because I think the AFC East, when you talk about the talent and the teams, how they're positioning themselves right now, I can see them not making the playoffs the next 2 years. So I think Brady.
Okay. All right. Pooh, what say you? Who next 2 years, who has more success, Belichick or Brady?
I'm in on Tommy Terrific as well, man. Tommy Terrific, he's going to have the most success.
Okay. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go Belichick because I think he's going to end up with a quarterback we're not expecting him to have. And, like one thing I know about Belichick is he's going to, and I'll say this. I don't think either of them are going to, in the next 2 years, are going to have major success. Like, I don't think Brady's going to have a deep playoff run with the Bucs, and I don't think Belichick is going to have a deep playoff run with the Pats over the next 2 years. But I think he'll end up with a solid quarterback, like an Andy Dalton or someone. And
yeah, I can see Andy there.
Yeah, and still be a playoff caliber team. So I'll say Belichick just because I told Poodles earlier when we were talking. I'm not sure how well Brady fits in Bruce Arians' offense. It's a deep passing game with no real slot receiver. So I'm not sure, unless they kind of, let him do a lot of his own things. So I don't see him being a complete bust. But just the end, I think it'll be tougher for Brady. Again, we just finished talking about the COVID-19. If off-season programs are pushed back and you don't have as much time to learn offenses and get familiar with your teammates, I think that affects Brady more than it does the Patriots. So,
yeah, I think we got to see who New England gets as a quarterback.
True.
Because these quarterbacks is moving and shaking and definitely flipping around the league. So,
right.
I mean, you look at Cam. Mm-hmm. Where does Cam end up?
Man.
I mean,
if Brady
so it's just a matter of
get Cam,
who takes that spot.
Yeah. Oh, man. We also saw in a highway robbery, the Arizona Cardinals were able to get DeAndre Hopkins from the Texans for David Johnson. And
definitely curious to hear what you got to say about that one, Pooh.
Yeah, Pooh, that's what I was going to say. You first, Pooh. I know those are two of your favorite players. And I know the guy that I think it affects most in a negative way is your favorite quarterback, Deshaun Watson. What are your thoughts around that trade?
I'm really at a loss for words when I saw Cam Hayward's post that we really need to start drug testing these GMs and coaches, and I'm in total agreement. Trading. For one, you don't trade a Newt Hopkins. Two, you don't trade a Newt Hopkins without Newt Hopkins and 2 or 3 first-round draft picks, right. For him. Like, you got to have a king's ransom for him, period.
Yeah.
Like, they should have left with half the Arizona roster, for Newt. To me, it was totally absurd. I think they could have put pieces around. If they wanted it back, they could have gave up that second round tenure to the Browns for Kareem Hunt. They say they did the deal because his contract was coming up in 2 more years, or next year, and they didn't want to pay him, and they were bringing in Johnson, and but Johnson's making more than him right now.
I say Johnson, they gotta pay him.
And Johnson may not be Johnson any longer.
All right.
But I mean, I just can't believe it, man. I don't know what Deshaun is gonna. He's gonna have to be more patient. He's gonna have to read more. He's gonna have to react more, and I guess he's gonna have to trust his players more because he depended on Nuke a lot. Nuke bailed him out. Nuke he flourished because of Nuke, and then he began to gain confidence and go out there and make plays on his own. But definitely Nuke was his security blanket. I just don't know what O'Brien was thinking. He couldn't have been thinking. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Al, what do you think?
Man, I agree with Pooh, man. I was sitting there. It just didn't make any sense to me. I guess I was wondering, was it like a beef? Was there anything like that we just didn't know about, to where they were just like, yo, we just trying to get you out of here first thing smoking? Because I look at the Odell Beckham trade, and I remember then thinking, like, they got a first round pick, J.O. Peppers. And I remember thinking then, like, yo, that wasn't enough. And that's Odell Beckham. Damn, y'all robbed him. Y'all robbed the Giants for that too. And then, I thought he was worth more than that. And no disrespect to David Johnson, but he ain't been that productive.
Right.
And who knows what he'll be like. Another offense, maybe he's healthier. But still, like, this dude's a beast. And I was shocked. But that being said, I'm happy he going to Cardinals, because now he gets to play with Fitzgerald. He gets to play with Kyler. And, let's see what this young, short quarterback does with one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Right. Hey, fantasy value goes through the roof.
Yeah,
right.
It should be fun to watch. Be fun to watch.
Yeah. So, and like you said, they still got Fitzgerald. So, it's gonna be fun.
Be solid, man.
And what makes that trade even crazier is the fact that the Vikings traded Stephon Diggs to the Bills and got 4 picks, including the first round of this year, 13th overall.
Right.
They got what they need.
Right. Like, I don't understand nothing around what O'Brien's doing.
But that trade of Diggs to the Bills,
right,
puts Buffalo as a team to beat in the AFC East.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And and a team that's coming off a playoff seed last year, so they're on the uptick, and Diggs is the best receiver that they've had since Eric Moles.
Oh man.
So
maybe Moles.
Maybe Moles.
Maybe a healthy.
I like Sammy Watson, but
yeah.
he wasn't all of that with Buffalo.
But he had a good 2-year span with them.
Yeah,
when he made the 2 Pro Bowls. Yeah,
right.
Healthy Sammy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a guy who's consistency combined with talent, probably Eric Moles. So I don't. And again, I think this is a win-win for both teams. I think Buffalo, they got the receiver they needed for Josh Allen, and I think Minnesota, knowing they weren't going to be able to re-sign Diggs, and they're up against the cap, and they got a run-heavy offense who can't really. They already got Adam Thielen, so
and he was doing a lot of chirping.
He was stayed in Mike Zimmer's doghouse. So I think it's a win-win for both teams. This is one of the rare trades we see. We're like, I can't fault either team in this one. We also see Phillip Rivers go to the Colts on a 1-year deal. Good move, bad move, or you indifferent, Al?
I think it's a good move. I think for organization to get a quarterback to really, I thought he's kind of done. So here's a prove it, a prove it deal. And if he isn't that dude, and I'm assuming they're keeping Jacoby. If he isn't that dude and Jacoby beats him out, then that means Jacoby came and balled out, and he deserves that spot. But all in all, I think it's low risk. Even though you paid him a lot of money, it's just 1 year. It's low risk. I think he's done. If he really is done, you just wasted one season, and I don't think the Colts was really. This was going to be their season either anyway. So they still don't have their franchise quarterback, which is where they need to be. So and it's a low risk move.
Yeah, right. The Colts also get Deforest Buckner in the trade. So that'll kind of
that helps
solidify their identity on defense. And they were able to sign him to a contract. We also saw Marcus Mariota and Jason Witten go to the Raiders. Pooh, what you think about the Mariota situation with the Raiders? What could his future be like there?
Nah, man, I don't think anything about it. I'm just glad that the Bears didn't sign him. He's just, to me, he looks like Mitchell Trubisky. I don't.
Dang.
I don't think anything. Witten.
And for those of you who don't know, that's the lowest insult Pooh can give anybody. In Pooh's world, if you say you look like
Mitchell
Trubisky,
a compliment.
Yeah, it's like that's worse than spitting on somebody in Pooh's mind.
Hey, I mean, Witten, they bringing in Witten because they respect Witten. They're gonna, he's gonna teach Waller, a few things to make Waller that much more complete. Waller probably make the Pro Bowl next year, but we're talking about Jason Witten, and he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay.
No point.
Yeah,
as a tutor.
All right. Al, are you sad to see Jason Witten in another uniform, or would you rather see him retire?
Not really. I think we were due for some young legs at that position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see he was there, especially for a season in which, it was up and down. He definitely was productive, but at the same time, man, we get some young boy to do that. Mm-hmm. And what he brings to our team is veteran leadership. And a model of how we do things around here. And we did sign Sean Lee, so we got that person in our locker room. So we don't need two of y'all. One is enough.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm good with that. I'm definitely a big Witten fan.
Right.
He'll always be a Cowboy, but I'm all right with him going to play somewhere else next year.
Okay. And lastly, before we jump into our teams, the Carolina Panthers signed quarterback Teddy Bridgewater from the Saints, apparently to take over for Cam Newton. The Panthers have come out and said they've given Cam Newton's agent the right to seek a trade. So, first, I ask y'all two different questions. Pooh, what are your expectations for Bridgewater? Is it an upgrade over Cam in Carolina, or what are your expectations for Teddy?
It's an upgrade in the standpoint of being available and healthy. I mean, yeah, Teddy's been banged up once with the ACL, but I guess when he came back, he's been relatively healthy for the last 2.5 years, and Cam he's been banged up, and his accuracy, I think he's very accurate. If maybe he's at high 60%, maybe Cam's low. Now I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure that his accuracy, he kind of dwarfs Cam in that area. Decision making, I don't really know because Teddy hasn't been in those places. Mm-hmm. Cam's taking his team to the Super Bowl, but I will be willing to watch Teddy grow into that, to put him in those situations. Plus, they're getting him at a good contract. 3 years, $66 million, something of that nature. I don't know the signing bonus or whatnot, but his market value, starting quarterback at that caliber, it's an excellent deal.
All right. Yeah, and I think at this point, the Panthers rosters makeup, Cam was more effective with those bigger receivers when they were trying to drive the ball down the field, and Teddy gets the ball out quickly. You got those smaller, quicker receivers who get in and out of their breaks quickly, and I think his style of play may mesh better, with what they're trying to do on offense. Al, so where would be some landing spots that you think Cam could end up with? I know we mentioned the Patriots earlier. You see him there anywhere else?
I think possible spots. I thought New England's one, but I really think a better one would be San Diego. And I think
LA.
While they might have an opportunity to draft a quarterback, I think, signing a Cam Newton, well, you could still sign a quarterback if that one was there, or it would allow you to take best player available and maybe go somewhere else with that draft pick. But I like San Diego as a good landing spot for a quarterback because I think they got offensive talent. Right. So the right quarterback there will kind of continue with Phillip Rivers. He was productive. He just wasn't consistent near the end of his career. But I think there with the right quarterback, they could have a shot to compete maybe for a wild card, but in that division, you still got to deal with the Chiefs. So,
right.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him at San Diego. I think that would be a good look for him.
Okay. And I see it's taking you forever to get accustomed to the Chargers being at Los Angeles now too. Like it took me.
My fault.
Yeah, I still say it too. Like I'm laughing at you because I'm like, I still do the same thing. Right.
My fault.
Yeah. So I don't know. And with that being. That means if Cam is out there, I think that puts him right now at the top of the quarterback chain as far as available quarterbacks. And then I guess you have Jameis Winston. So that kind of leaves Jameis might have to take a backup job for a year.
So if you a franchise, you got Winston or Cam, are you definitely going with Cam?
It depends on where I'm at. And what my quarterback situation is because, like, if I need a starter, like, I think that gives you options. But if I'm looking for a guy I'm just looking for a guy to come in and compete with a guy like Mitchell Trubisky. If Chicago's looking for a guy, if you sign Cam, he's your starter. Cam's not going to go anywhere and compete for a job at this point.
Right.
He's going to sign as a starter. Jameis, you come in and say, hey, we'll sign you to a contract and you compete for the job. I think considering how the jobs are kind of filled up, and then also, him coming off of a season where he led the league in picks, and he's got to kind of prove himself that he can be reliable. So, depending on the quarterback situation, if I've got an older starter, like if I'm the Steelers, I'd look into Jameis. I'm still a relatively young guy who I can maybe convince to take a year, maybe two on the bench, and when Roethlisberger retires, hey, you got a starter. But that's if Jameis is willing to do that. So, I don't know. I guess it just depends.
I wouldn't hand him a starting job either.
Right, and especially if I'm a contender.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, Pooh, we just mentioned Mr. Biscuit, the babyface assassin. What are your Bears looking like? Are you some of the moves in free agency? What are y'all are you happy with what's happened so far? And what are you looking forward to seeing moving forward?
Oh man, I was hoping we was gonna get in on Teddy.
Almost had him.
What happened? Can you hear me?
You almost had him.
Yeah, we let them kids out. Then he wanted to, like, from what I understand, he's a longtime Bears fan, but we should have offered him the money, because even we should have offered him the money, because that deal to me is a safe deal for a quarterback, and I think he's a total upgrade over Mitchell. Man, I like bringing in the Robert Quinn, pass rusher, led Dallas in sacks. So I'm okay with bringing Mac with someone. We signed the 6'2" kid from the Canadian Football League? 6'2" kid, 6'4" kid, something like that. Run a 4.4. So I'm itching to see what he looks like. Also, I really like Chris Harris Jr. that's out there. But we may not put any more money at the corner position. I'm upset. I'm really upset that we brought back Danny Trevathan. I thought we was going to bring back Nick Kwiatkowski. I was really, because he's an animal. He's only like 23 years old. He was on everything. He was on everything when Trevathan went down. Trevathan 30 plus. I was willing to let Trevathan go and let the two young kids get in there and play ball.
All right.
Unless they're not sold on what's the kid's name? The kid from Georgia, the middle backer. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it. Kid. The kid we drafted out of Georgia, the other middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Roquan. That tore his tricep or bicep, something like that. Unless they're not sure that he's going to be ready to go, at the beginning of the season. That's why they signed back Danny. So I don't know how he's progressing with that. But other than that, I'm kind of disappointed. Like I said, we didn't bring in Teddy, but I like what we did on the defensive end. So we'll see. Right now, I give us a C minus.
Okay. All right. Al, we'll start with your Cowboys. What are you thinking about? What's happened so far? Who you brought in? Who you lost? And what are you looking to moving forward?
Well, definitely I want to co-sign the addition of Quinn to the Bears as he left the Cowboys, because I think he will be somebody that at this point he will be missed. He definitely was a nice balance, another coming off the edge to balance DeMarcus Lawrence. It was nice to have him over there. So I don't know what we counter with that, because
look out for Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah, all right. I mean, we'll see. He's a young cat. I ain't gonna hold it against him, but we need something.
All right.
But that being said, we lost our cornerback Jones. He went down to Miami, and similar to Quinn, we lost him because he got paid a lot of money to go somewhere else.
Right.
And we can't pay everybody. So he was a really, really good player for us. Now we just need our number 2 cornerback to kind of follow in that Jones tradition and step your game up and go from a 2 to a 1, come out of nowhere and be our 1. And that's a woozy. So we hoping, we'll have that number 1 cornerback, because otherwise we're going to miss Jones seriously. We need some depth, maybe out the draft, or maybe we'll get a free agency, but we're going to miss him. Right. I like that we kept Cooper, our wide receiver. He got paid. I ain't expecting him to get that type of cash, but he got that type of cash.
He did.
He got paid, and hey, more power to you. So glad he stayed, and we had to franchise that to keep him. So hopefully they work out a contract and give him the money he's looking for, because we don't want him to miss any mini camps or nothing like that, any holdouts. We got a new coach, new system, let's get him from the beginning and build that culture so that we can start off on the right foot, is hopefully what they thinking. Other than that, I think they're going to take it slow, because they ain't got that much money to spend, because they spent it.
All right.
They spent it.
Yeah. And your Jets, what are your thoughts on what they've done so far?
Well, we've been kind of slow building. I kind of like, they got a decent amount of money to spend, but I think last year where you saw them, they gave all that cash to Le'Veon.
Right.
They gave it to the linebacker from C.J. Mosley. I think this year they're going to take a different approach, because they got so many holes.
Right.
So they trying to, they got a couple of guys on the line, which I think is necessary, because their line was garbage last year,
right.
and then they even kept somebody, Alex Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
So, still, I think that was their biggest need because they got a good draft pick. I mean, they might pick like 10th, 11th, somewhere around there. So they got another option to pick somebody to add on their line. Their line was so garbage that I wouldn't mind seeing 4 or 5 new offensive linemen next year. Like, just get everybody out. Fire them all, man. Go. Just flip everybody out. So the free agent started good because I think I'm looking now. They signed 3 linemen off the rip. Like, like let's just start building our depth. So I like what I see. I look at a wide receiver, Anderson. He might bounce. We'll see if he gets paid.
Right.
Because he on TV talking about he dreaming of playing with Tom Brady. Like, who says that? Like, you can't be a Jet talking about you want to catch passes from Tom Brady.
Right.
Oh, nigga.
Well,
you might need to go.
Right.
You ain't about this culture. You ain't about this life. So we'll see, man. The Jets they just about filling a lot of these holes, and I think signing Jamal Adams. I think that's their big objective this offseason. Just they got a lot of holes to fill, but they can't go really after the big free agent like they did last year.
Right. Cool. Yeah, man. My Steelers, man. I think, of course, the biggest thing is like getting Ben back is kind of like signing a free agent because that trash we had at quarterback last year, it was atrocious. So
that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, and mostly down on that roller coaster. So it's essentially like bringing in a free agent. I don't think it'll be that drastic. But then, of course, franchising Bud Dupree was huge. Hopefully they can work out a long-term deal. It's going to be tough because in 2 years, you got T.J. Watt coming up, and he's going to get elite money.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't know if you can pay both of them. So at least being able to have Bud back for a year is huge, and hopefully develop somebody behind him. If you can't retain him for long term, but it was good to get him back in the fold. And with that, once they franchised Bud, we were so tight against the cap that we immediately were over the cap. So we had to start cutting folks and restructuring contracts. But those cuts were good. It was Mark Barron had to go. I think it was Ramon Foster, our left guard, retired, so that cleared up some more money. They cut Anthony Chicklow, who's never done anything but beat up his wife or his girlfriend in the mountains. So if he could be that good against a right tackle, we would have kept him. So it's good to kind of clear up that money. And the only signing we have so far is we brought in a new fullback. We got Derek Watt, so we got the third Watt brother on the team. So if we can trade for JJ, I'll be happy. We have all 3 Watt brothers. But yeah, we needed a fullback. Rosie Nix has been banged up the last couple of years, and we lost our best special teams player to the Bills. So Derek Watt is one of the better special teams players in the league, so that kind of fills 2 voids. So just good, man. Really not a lot of holes. So just moving forward. Probably not going to be really big players in free agency. So just looking forward to the draft. And we don't have a first-round pick because our first-round pick is Minkah Fitzpatrick, so I'll take that. And so, start rebuilding the offensive line. We're getting older up there. We get Stephon Tuitt back from injury. So that kind of offsets and probably gives us an upgrade, even though, Javon Hargrave was really good. Stephon Tuitt's even better. But shout out to Javon Hargrave, man. Got a 3-year deal for $39 million from Philly. So shout out to the kid from SC State, HBCUs now. So
that's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So as we move forward, as we always say, there is no offseason in the NFL. So unless again COVID-19 pushes stuff back, stuff will be different, but it'll keep moving. So we'll see.
Well, I'm definitely interested to see. I think that Tom Brady situation, I think is interesting because I think a lot of people thought it was just hype.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I must admit, I thought he was going back to the Patriots. So this is definitely not what I was expecting going into the season. So Gonna be different to start an NFL season where Tom Brady is not with the Patriots.
Right. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I didn't necessarily think he was going back, but I knew that a decision had already been made, whether he was going back or not. Like, to me, it just didn't make sense for the Patriots, Belichick, Brady, everyone involved, as calculated and as organized as they are, to go this long and say, we don't know what's going to happen. I didn't buy that. So I think it speaks volumes that the day one of free agency, Tom Brady sending out, Instagram messages that he, his farewell to Massachusetts, and he signs with the Bucs. So I don't think it's a coincidence that first day of free agency or second day of free agency he agrees to a deal with someone else. I think they knew all along he wasn't coming back. So. But yeah, man, we're gonna jump into a commercial really quick, and we'll come back with I got a buy or sell question, a listener question, and we're gonna wrap up with some trivia. We'll be right back. If you're into all things comics, you have to check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, your go-to podcast for comic and superhero discussion, debates, polls, and more. Tune in as Regular Scott and Ozzy Killmonger chat about your favorite comic topics, and you never know who may show up for an open mic or what will be next on their favorite One Gotta Go. Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, every Sunday, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. It's episode 149. It's J.R. Glymph here with Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph. Guys, I got a buy or sell statement for you. So, we've been talking about Tom Brady. So, my buy or sell statement. Pooh, you first. You buy or sell this. If Tom Brady signs elsewhere, which he now has, he will tarnish his legacy if he doesn't make it to another Super Bowl. You buying or selling that?
Sell. And
why so?
He's already entrenched in NFL folklore. He's Tom Brady. He's done everything you can do except be the home team to host the Super Bowl and go to it, because that's never been done. But other than that, man, Tom Brady, he's done it. He's the definition of definition. So I don't think you can tarnish that.
All right. Al, what say you? If you buying or selling, Tom Brady doesn't make it to another Super Bowl, he's tarnishing his legacy.
So when I first read it, my first thought was sell. Mm-hmm. Then the more I thought about it and read the question, I really think that the answer is buy, because I think that he will, if he was not to win a Super Bowl, he would still remain the GOAT, but he would tarnish his legacy, because I think up to this point, part of his legacy is that, like, this question of, was it Tom Brady or was it Belichick?
That's exactly why I said it. Yeah.
Like, And if he had always stayed with the Patriots, that question would have never been answered. And the tarnish or extra polish, because if he wins the Super Bowl, then his legacy is even pumped up even more. Because not only is he the GOAT, but he's also, it was him. He did it. He'll ride off in the sunset with that. So I think he has the opportunity to, to step it up or just take a hit. But either way, he's still the GOAT. It ain't going to take that away from him.
Right.
I just think people will, in their minds, have the answer to the question depending on how the season plays out. But and it's really also though not a fair comparison, because in reality, this is a much older Tom Brady than the one that was winning all them Super Bowls. But still, it's going to be part of the argument as his career ends and he retires. So I say bye.
Right, and that's why I asked it, is for that specific reason, because legacy ain't nothing but perception, and so we when we look at it, and I mean we as fans, we as podcasters, we as anyone outside of Tom Brady, legacy is just perception. And so, like you said, that question has always been there: is who's most responsible for this Patriots dynasty? Is it Belichick or is it Brady? Many people have their own opinion on it. Very polarizing. But I do agree that he's the GOAT regardless. 2 years ain't gonna screw up your like what you've done over the last 20 years. But that perception that if he goes to Tampa and he stinks it up, whether it's an old Tom Brady or not, or if they just become a middling playoff team and not really Super Bowl contender. On top of that, if Belichick continues to have deep playoff runs over the next couple years, I think that perception of legacy will change a little bit, or it may swing some people. And of course, time kind of erodes, time erodes a lot of things. So in 20 years, it may not even matter. People may forget he even played for the Bucs, kind of like Mike playing for the Wizards.
Right.
But I think in the immediate response to it, a lot of those people who were saying, it's Belichick, not Brady, will have a lot of ammo to kind of shoot back at people who say it was Brady all along. So that's the specific reason I asked it.
I'm hoping for, the thing that comes to mind was Montana, who left the 49ers, went to the Chiefs, took team, I think, to the AFC Championship and almost, took that team to the Super Bowl. Right. Which I would expect something like that, where he gets to the playoffs, maybe even makes a run. Who knows? Maybe win a game or two. But I still think he's not the quarterback of 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I think that's what the Patriots are saying. And no disrespect, I think it's a lot of greatness, and they might be they might have some success, but I think when you get to the top teams, that's where the difference is gonna be shown. Right. So I expect him to do pretty good because I like the Bucs offense. So I think he's gonna have success down there.
Okay. All right, and on to our listener question. Our boy Dre from Atlanta. Shout out to Dre.
What up, Dre?
Yo. Dre wants to know. Dre says there are many conspiracy theories floating around, of course, right now. Are there any conspiracy theories in history that you buy into? Pooh, you first. Any conspiracy theories that you lend weight to?
Nah, I can't pinpoint any. I'm the first one to say, man, go ahead with that. Any type of, they paying these people Cam Newton Super Bowl. I mean, just I don't get into it.
All right, so Pooh's not a conspiracy theory guy. Al, what about you? Any conspiracy theories you buy into?
So I'm definitely not the one who buys into all of them. So I'm kind of like Pooh. I'm real quick to. My first intuition is to be like, nah. Right. You're gonna have to convince me. Right. That's usually the stance I come from. But that being said, who killed Malcolm X? You could convince me on some real foul shit that happened. Actually, all of those assassinations, the Kennedy, the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King. I don't believe we know the truth about any of them. Right. Same thing with Biggie and Tupac.
Well, yeah.
I you know what I mean? To me, that's some fugazi shit that's going over there. 9/11. Not that I am to the point that I believe our country was behind it, because I've heard some people say that in the barbershop.
Right.
I do think we don't know the full story.
True.
So that aspect of the conspiracy, I buy into that. That's kind of it off the top of the head. But like I said, there's definitely some that I am inclined to believe. I just need some evidence. I ain't just gonna go just because some people feel like
right.
The NFL is fixed. Why you say that? Because my team don't get the calls. Nah, son, that ain't enough. I need more than that.
True. But yeah, I'm kind of like you, Al. Was like, I don't dismiss it just because it's conspiracy theory. But I do think like some are just so unbelievable that I'm just like, yeah, dude, you got to convince me a little bit more than that. I have these arguments with my brother-in-law all the time where he is totally on conspiracy theories. Like he think everybody getting paid off in the NFL. He think we ain't landing on the moon. He think all that shit is true. So I get in these debates with him all the time. But I definitely think there's not necessarily a conspiracy theory because I think it's like research has kind of proven that we don't know everything that we've been presented. So like 9/11, I think there are things that we don't know. There are definitely things that we don't know. I don't think that makes it a conspiracy theory just because, we kind of know there's some holes in it. JFK, this is a Zapruder film, is kind of proven that there was, another shooter. So I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. It's just something we know, and we don't know everything. But I don't know. They're like, I don't get the people being paid off in sports, like you said, Pooh, like Cam Newton being paid off for the Super Bowl. I don't get stuff like that. One thing I do definitely believe is that there has been other life on this planet from other planets. Whether you think they're little green men or whatever form you think they come in, I do think there has been life from other planets on our planet. Again, there's a lot of information we're not privy to, but I think we have had visitors from other planets. So I'll leave it.
I mean, when you think about the size, when you really take the time to think about the size of our universe as we know it at this point.
Right. And just our universe.
Yeah, just the shit we know about. You just think about all the shit outside in space that we already know about exists. Right. The idea that we're the only people and that dumb folks ain't figured out how to, like, that just...
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't believe that. So I'm with you. I do believe we have been visited by something.
Right. So, well, appreciate it, Dre. Damn good question, because there are a lot of conspiracy theories going around right now with COVID-19, and everybody believes what they believe. So, very relevant question. Appreciate it. Y'all definitely keep these questions coming to us every week. We appreciate it. If you got something,
definitely appreciate the questions, man.
Right.
And they come up with the best questions. Our listeners are some creative folk.
Right, they on top of shit, man. I love our listeners. But yeah, so if y'all got something you just want to ask in general, something we say you disagree with, or you just want to get some shit off your chest, email us at info@godefylife.com, or you can hit us up on social media on all platforms at godefylife. With that being said, I'm ready to wrap this thing up, man. Pooh, you ready for some trivia? I guess not. Pooh done ran away from us. Did Pooh fall asleep?
Okay.
Oh no, that's Al.
Nah. My bad. I'm here.
Okay.
All right. You thought you got the trivia ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready. I just realized I was missing one, but it's cool. I got it.
All right. I thought you had got up and started looking out the window, clucking at the roosters and shit. I ain't know.
Nah, give me 1 second to plug it. Boom. Boom. Okay. We still doing it for the women. I have women Olympic records. All right. I have the top 3 most decorated U.S. Olympic women. Okay. And the next category is top 3 most decorated women Olympic track athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have track, and we just flat out. So it's going to be, I guess they're going to the most medals just in track in general. That's the most decorated U.S. Olympic women. Okay. And then, of course, the 3 most decorated women Olympic track athletes. Of course, that's track and field. And the women Olympic records, as they, hold records today. Y'all there? Am I on mute? Y'all
no,
hear
I'm
me?
here. I'm here.
Okay. So, the top 3 most decorated U.S. Olympic women, I have for 10, 20, 30. So the one that I guess the most popular will be 10, and then so forth and so on. So I have the top 3. So for the 1 you'll get 10, for the 2 you'll get 20, and then for the 3rd you'll get 30. Y'all with me with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I didn't do track like that. And, okay, that's the only one like that. The other one I'll read a little description. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we got overall Olympics and track.
Track, yeah, I have records, then just overall Olympic, and then track.
Okay.
And what's the scoring again? Give me the scoring again.
10, 20, 30.
Oh, okay.
And for track, is it all events?
J. For track, it is sprint.
Okay, so the 100-yard. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I ain't promising too much in this one.
I got a need for speed.
I see you.
So, Al J, I think Al, you whipped me last week, I think. So we're gonna rock with you first.
Okay. Let's go with the U.S. Olympians for 20.
U.S. Okay. Top 3 decorated U.S. Olympic women. Okay. This is very vague. This women Olympian, she has 12 medals. She's a swimmer. 4 gold, 4 silver, and 4 bronze. Very vague.
Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Yeah,
4.
I have no idea. You don't have to stop. I give it in.
All right. Dara Torres.
Oh shit!
Wow, never heard of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't heard of any of them myself either. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I wasn't.
Good luck, Jay.
I hadn't heard of any of them myself.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. I was like, shit. Okay.
Right.
Let's go. Women Olympians for 10.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you said
Which one?
You said
The most decorated or what? Record?
Most
most decorated. So the same one Al was just in.
Yeah.
Okay. Very vague. Okay.
Oh, what did Al go for?
He went for 20.
Okay. Yeah, let me go for 10.
Okay. She's also an Olympic swimmer. All right. She has 12 medals as well. However, she has 8 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze. She's the most decorated women's swimmer of all time.
Oh, man. That's Jenny Thompson. She's probably the only women swimmer I know.
That's Jenny Thompson.
Yeah.
I'd never guessed that.
Neither would I. I didn't know. I flat out didn't. I didn't know any of it. That's why I was like, oh, okay. Let me get this. Let me enlighten them guys a little.
I appreciate it.
That's why she was 10, Jay, because
Yeah, she's the only one I know, and the only reason I know her is because I remember she was in this interview with Michael Phelps.
Okay.
She's a beast. Let's go. Most decorated for 20.
Most decorated for 20. Track athlete?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I didn't know this one. Okay.
You know it's bad when the person answering the question said, God damn.
I don't feel real confident now. I'm not even listening. You don't know this. You don't know this. You don't know this.
Nah. She was a favorite to be medaled in the 1980 Olympics. However, they were boycotted. But when she finally got her opportunity, she won 2 gold medals in 1984 in the 100 and in the 4x100 relay. And she has 5 medals total, 4 gold, 1 silver. Who is this lady?
That Jackie Jonah Kersey?
Jackie Jonah Kersey is incorrect.
Is that Evelyn Ashford?
It is. Who?
Is that Evelyn Ashford?
That it is. Yeah. Yes.
Who? Evelyn
Ashford.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think she has the most medals of. No, she doesn't. Okay. All right, Jay, on you.
Excuse me. Let's go track for 10.
Track for 10. Okay. In 1988, she won gold in both the heptathlon and the long jump. She has 6 medals total, 3 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze in her Olympic career.
Is that Jackie Jonah Kersey?
That is Jackie Jonah Kersey.
Dang.
Right. I feel you. I had to bring them out, though, man. I
ain't mad at you.
On you, Al.
Let's go track athletes for 30.
Track, okay. She made her Olympic debut in Athens in 2004, winning a silver in the 200 meter. And she has a total of 9 medals. So she's going to the most medals as a track U.S. woman. Okay, she has 6 gold and 3 silver. Who was this female track athlete?
Man, stop playing.
She has the most, man. I mean, I don't know what else to give you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Al said, man, why just 5, do for 5?
4,
Stop playing.
3, 2,
Simone Biles.
and 1. Simone Biles. Well, we all know that is incorrect. Jay, you know who that is?
Oh, man. I don't right now.
Oh, it's Allison Felix.
Oh, Allison Felix. Okay.
Yeah, Allison Felix.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I figured you would know who that was.
I mean, I know who she is. I didn't know she was that decorated, though.
I don't.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's why I had to get her in here.
All
okay,
right.
We have
I was thinking about what's her
the
name,
most
wife.
decorated U.S. Olympian women for 30, and we have all of women Olympic records.
Say that again. We got what?
We have for 30. We have
they both for 30.
the top. Yeah. Well, we had the 30 for the top, the 3 most decorated U.S. Olympic women, and we have all of women Olympic records.
Oh. Let me do 10 for women Olympic records.
Okay. Okay. In 1988, she broke the world record, and she ran a 21.34 in the 200 meters. Who is this decorated Olympian?
Is that FloJo?
Florence Griffith Joyner. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Damn.
Eating up them tens. That's how you do when you don't know nothing. I'm scared to go any higher.
Yeah, all right. I got to keep shooting for the stars. Let me go 30 for top 3.
30. You going 30 in the same category? You want that category? You don't want the category with the top 3 most decorated U.S. Olympic women.
That's what I want. 30 for that.
Oh man, you ain't want that.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Damn, why you be jinxing me,
Two
man?
questions come with warning. So you
be
hang around
shaking my
regular Scott.
confidence every time, and that's why I can't get nothing right, man. You be okay. Hey, go ahead. Ask your question. Ask your question.
Okay. All right. This young lady is also a swimmer. She also has 12. Right? That's why I said you ain't want that. She also have 12 medals. 3 gold, 4 silver, 5 bronze. Who is this Olympic swimmer? You know, Olympic women dominated.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, man.
I didn't think
Really?
you wanted that one, man. You jumped out there. I was like, no. Did you want the same?
Why all the swimming questions though? What's up with the swimming?
Shit, they won. They won the most. They won.
All right, man.
Oh man.
9.
Gabby Douglas.
Gabby Douglas is close. It's Natalie Coughlin.
Oh man. Sounds just like Gabby.
Damn.
I've heard that name before though.
Yeah, no, them women beast.
Yeah, they are.
They beast. All right, Jay. Women Olympic records for 20 and 30.
Give it to me for 30, so Al can't get it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. In 1998, this Olympic woman jumped in the long jump, jumped to 24 feet, 3 inches, and 1/4 in the 1988 Olympics. Who is this?
88 or 98?
88 great Olympic woman.
Jackie Joyner Kersey?
Who?
Jackie Joyner Kersey?
Jackie Joyner Kersey is correct.
Oh, shit.
Oh damn! How many Jackie Joyner Kersey questions is it?
Winning. I thought you was going to take her. You had her.
Oh, you killing me.
Just shits and giggles, Al.
Okay,
all right.
what you got?
This record has yet to be broken. It was broken in 1988 in the 100 meters. She ran for 10.49 in the 100 meter dash. Who is this Olympic great?
I think I know that one.
What year was that again?
1988. We hear this year a lot, isn't it?
Right.
Is that FloJo?
That is Flo. Florence Griffith Joyner.
I was told between her and Gal Devers. I wasn't sure.
Did I win?
You got on the board.
Yeah, you got on the board. You got on the board.
Sorry, Al, save your strength for the trivia battleground, man. It's cool.
Got you.
All right. Well, Jay's victorious on that. You know, we brought a lot of dust off. You know, I didn't know any of those women, whether women swimmers.
All right.
That
was a good one though. I'm liking this Women's History Month questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who you hosted, man? What you got for us? What's your parting shot?
Man, you know what I want to say. Keep everybody covered, like you guys said before. Be wise. Don't be out there reckless at the bar. You know, drinking shots with the people, and that COVID-19 floating through. Just be mindful. of the next guy. Don't get both packs of the water. Take one and let one slide. Don't get 4 packs of the 24 packs of tissue. Just get 2. But hey, definitely be safe. Be mindful, and we'll definitely get through this.
No doubt. Al, what you got for me? Pardon shot.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna stay right there. I agree. We're gonna get through this, but it's a requirement that we just got to take it seriously. And I think trying to do our best to practice the distancing, practicing the washing of our hands, just trying not to pass on the virus or even being around it to contract it to then pass it to our families. I think watching that New Rochelle incident where one man came into a community and then hundreds of people got sick was just a eye opener for me in terms of how quick you can, infect a community. So, I just think for these things to work, we all got to do our best to just follow the rules. And I mean, they're not rules, they're recommendations, but just trying to discourage unnecessary time outside. And just, I think it's not about us, it's about the vulnerable in our communities. And so as long as we can remember that, I think it'll be over before we know it. So it's still real early on in it. And so, just be ready for just make the best of it. So be ready to be productive. And every day is going to be different because it seems to evolve and change every day. So everybody be safe. See you next week.
No doubt. Absolutely. Again, ditto to everything y'all just said. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody, getting your joke game together on Facebook and your meme game together on Facebook as a result of the COVID-19. Y'all keep it coming. I wake up every day trying to figure out who's going to have the best coronavirus joke. And Miggs already said that he got his hand raised. He's trying to win. So y'all keep your jokes coming. As unoriginal as they may be. Keep them coming. People look forward to those. So got to laugh in the face of disaster at times. Mm-hmm. So that's all we got, man. Guys, good show. Again, shout out to Money, West Coast, and Hollywood Paul, and shout out to Lynn and Kim. We're missing y'all this week. So we're going to talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.